What's up, everybody? It's Mikey from the Real King of Queens here, and we're here to talk New York sports with you today. We're here to talk New York sports and talk and interview some New York City athletes. These New York City athletes were born and bred in the New York City metropolitan area. They went on to have careers in New York sports and do other things, such as be a sports lawyer, be a sports agent, maybe even coach. But they did something that they loved. They chased their dreams, right? And these are all people from our area that we grew up with, or we know, or we know somebody that knows them, right? So we're going to bring them on the show. We're going to interview them. We're going to ask them a bunch of questions. We're going to get to know them a little bit better, get to know who they are, get to know their root causes, of why they started up in sports and what made them who they are. But before we get into all that and hear some wild-ass stories that you will hear on this podcast, I promise you that, I want to introduce you to my family, and that's the Real Kings of Queens here. We're going to go around the room, introduce ourselves, tell you a little bit about who we are, where we're from, what our background is, and let's set it off. So to my left, my little man TC right here.
What's up, everybody? It's Terrence here. Everybody call me Little TC. I'm glad to be here with my brothers. Starting a positive thing, starting this podcast, representing all the New York City athletes. Went to Holy Cross High School, Little League. I played with Rosedale Jets, Rosedale all the way, black and gold. Went to Mercyhurst University, Division II football, PSAC. We won a championship, my first championship ever in college. All conference, many of accolades, but we're not here today for me. This season we're here. We wanna highlight all the athletes that we know from our area and just put the light on them because they deserve it.
Hell yeah, yeah.
Further
That's a great
ado,
way to put it.
You got my brother here now. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, Big TC.
Yo, my name is Tyrell. They call me TC or Big TC. Same as my brother. Played with the Rosedale Jets, Little League. Went to Holy Cross High School. Shout out to the green and gold and the black and gold for Rosedale.
Shout out.
And I went on to play at Lafayette College. Rolling Parts, Go Parts. I played with them for 4 years. I had a good career there. Had a lot of injuries, but the time I spent there was a good time. And I coached in college. Actually coached my brother for 2 years at Mercyhurst. Had a good time. Won our first championship in 2010. Hell of a time. And, I'm glad to be here, man, with my guys to talk sports, just talk about life.
Chop it up. My man, Nicky.
What's up, everyone? My name is Nicky. Psyched to be here. It's the first time I'm ever doing something like this. It's all nothing but positivity. And just ready to kick it with the boys. Just get into some real discussion about sports.
Hell yeah. Talk about your 49ers.
Amen.
Hey, yeah.
All right. So if we're going to talk about sports, I guess the first thing we should talk about is football, right? Because we're in the midst of football season, and shit is getting real heavy real quick. Last night, we had some crazy games going on. One game I really do not want to talk about is that Buffalo Bill Cowboy game, all right?
We're going to talk about it.
Let it out, Mike. Let it out, buddy.
I gotta let it out, right? So my Dallas Cowboys, because I'm a diehard Dallas Cowboy fan, my Dallas Cowboys, they got their butts whooped last night in Buffalo, in Orchard Park. Dak Prescott did not do a thing. We had James Cook ran the ball down our throats, and we got absolutely destroyed. Now, this is a team that was supposed to be, Dak Prescott was supposed to be the front runner for MVP. This is a team that was supposed to be at least the second best in the league. And a team that was supposed to be a contender for the Super Bowl. And we just got put on display for everyone to see. So, I mean, what do you guys have to say about that?
It was expected.
It's expected. Of course you're going to say that.
No, it was expected. Everybody's on their high horse because the Eagles, they blew out the Eagles last week. So,
what do you think about the Eagles, though? You think they're frauds?
I'm say 50-50 on that.
I don't know.
I can't say frauds because when it comes to the NFL, any given Sunday, Thursday, Saturday, Monday, whatever hell day it is, some dudes gonna give you their best, some of them gonna give you their worst. So it's like,
And that's a rivalry game.
yeah, it's a rivalry game. Exactly.
Yeah, it's a divisional game.
It's a division game.
Yeah,
So,
you're right.
It means more.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Cowboys caught them on a good day.
Caught him on a good day.
Yeah.
I guess you could say that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, real quick, I didn't even get to tell you guys this, but a little bit about myself is my name is Mikey. I'm from Flushing, Queens. I went to Holy Cross with these two goons over here, these two brothers. I've known Nicky for a very long time. He's my boy. I grew up in Flushing, Queens. I'm born and bred Queens boy. That's what it's all about, baby. Queens right here, the real king of Queens. And I love sports. I mean, I grew up playing baseball, football. Shout out to the Bayside Raiders, Rosedale Jets. Shout out to the Bayside Raiders. Coach John Surrett, if you're watching, thank you, boss. You big influence in my life. And shout out to Holy Cross High School. You know, that's the high school that made the three of us right here, or four of us that you're soon to meet, men, that made men out of us. Yeah, that's who we are. That's where we came from. So I got a lot of respect for our principal, Mr. G. Shout out to Mr. G. He did a lot of things for us. Man. He made us the young men that we are and the men that we are today. So shout out to Mr. G. But in terms of who I am, again, my name is Mikey. I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan. And I'm sorry to be here today. All right. Let's bring it back. Now, another big game we had yesterday was your game.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Ravens.
The Ravens.
Ravens versus the Jaguars.
Let's talk about
Let's
it.
get it. First things first, shout out to my guy Lamar Jackson.
Okay.
I've been saying this since 2020. Get my man a great offensive coordinator with a decent passing game, and he's going to elevate. And legit, that's exactly what he's doing right now. He might not have the crazy passing numbers. You know, people looking for 40 touchdown passes, 3,000, 4,000 yards. But the dude is a once-in-a-lifetime talent at quarterback.
I'm not going to lie. I think his defense is better, too.
Oh, of course.
His defense is better than what it was in prior years.
Of course.
Like, the DBs used to be a problem for them.
Yeah, facts.
Now they got
facts.
official defensive backs back there.
Not only that, they're
Facts.
wide receivers. You got Zay Flowers.
Right. Yeah.
You got
yeah.
you got playmakers on the
Right.
other side of the ball. I mean, even though Mark Andrews went down,
But what's the biggest thing about football that we heard when we was younger, little kids? Defense wins championships.
No.
Wins games.
Offense wins. No. Flip flop that. It goes offense wins games, defense wins championships.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Funny you bring that up. I know that's what you said. I know that's what you said, but you said it the wrong way. It's funny you bring that up because I was on the radio maybe like 2 or 3 weeks ago, maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I brought this up to, I think it was Sal and BT. I think it was Sal and BT on 660 The Fan. And I said to them, you know, one of the biggest things is offense wins games and defense wins championships. And they kind of sunned me. They were like, nah, quarterbacks win championships. And I was like, this is a great topic to talk about, right? Because this is true. This is true here, right now. This is true, facts. Defense does win championships. Let's all get that shit straight right now.
Facts.
Defense wins championships, but a great quarterback can win you a championship as well.
Yeah.
100%. Look at Tom Brady. Look at Tom Brady.
Look at Joe Flacco.
But we want to talk about Tom Brady.
Joe
Though.
Flacco.
Look at his defense that he had.
Yes.
Those dudes was always top 5.
Yeah. Always.
Hell yeah.
Always.
Hall of
always.
Famers on those
But
defenses.
Yeah.
when I say
Brewski,
Joe Flacco, there was games that year they won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
When he with his arm,
Yeah.
he won them games.
Nah, facts.
Yes.
Facts.
100%.
Facts.
Right.
That Broncos game. Yeah.
Blackout.
Yeah.
Like-
The blackout.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the year of the
yeah.
blackout. Yes,
Exactly.
it was. Yes, it
Exactly.
was. Oh my
Exactly.
God, bring it back, dude. I'll never forget the year of the blackout. Oh my God.
2012.
Niners were on the comeback.
Yep,
They were on the comeback that game. It just came up short.
came up short.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
you
crazy.
had Kaepernick, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cap.
Yeah, Cap.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever
He was
happened
he
to
was
Cap,
going
dude?
off.
I got his jersey
What's he
too.
doing right now? What's Kaepernick doing right now?
He's doing his.
Trying to get into the league, probably.
I mean, it's kind of. He's old now. per se. When
Yeah.
it comes to like, you know,
It's got to be in his mid-30s.
yeah, exactly.
He's got an afro. I know that.
Black Hawk.
He's got a
shit.
super afro.
Nah, real talk. But nah, Cap, man, when he was playing, bro, he was a great athlete. Like when
sure.
he played with the 49ers, the dude, it was the playoff
the
game against the
cannon.
Packers. The dude rushed for like over 100, went off.
In Green Bay.
In Green Bay, right.
In
In Green
Green
Bay. In Green Bay.
I think it was like 0 or maybe like
Yeah, it
4
was cold.
degrees
It
or
was cold as
something
hell.
like that. It said it was like one of the second coldest games ever.
Yeah, that was crazy. Crazy.
That was crazy.
Now the Niners own Green Bay at Green Bay.
Oh yeah, fact.
That's just
That's just a
Facts.
fact.
That's history.
That's
That's
just-
history.
Yeah, that's history.
Yo, so I saw something the other day. Cam Newton,
Oh my God, we're gonna
talking
bring this
about
up.
game
Oh, dude.
changers
And game
and
managers.
game managers.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
Right? And I totally understood what he was talking about when he was saying what he was saying, like with Dak.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like with Brock
Right.
Purdy.
Right.
Yeah.
Because if you put any other quarterback in that position, they're gonna succeed.
Right.
Yeah.
Look at the weapons around him.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
if
No,
you
he's
put
got-
if you
I
put,
don't know about that though.
I mean,
I
we're
don't
not
know
crapping
about
on him,
that.
but he's a good athlete. He's a great quarterback. But
Right.
you'll go back to his
In Purdy's
weapons.
situation, I can see that. In Purdy's situation, I can see that. In Dak's situation, I can't see that. And I'm not being a biased Cowboy fan right now. But Dak makes throws. He makes changes at the line.
Yeah.
He does.
what
He
did you just
does
say not too long ago?
what?
Quarterbacks can win championships, right?
Yes, 100%. And Dak
has not
Dak
done
has not done
since.
Dak. Yeah, Dak. Yes, Dak has choked. Yes, he's a
Playoff
choke
wins does he
artist.
have? I think he has one. How
Yes. All right. All right, guys.
many? Seriously.
Seriously.
How many wins does he have?
Yes,
let's check
seriously,
it.
he
Just
has
one?
one.
Let's check it.
Yes, he has
Wow.
one. Yeah, he has one. I believe it's one. Yeah.
also-
no, I think it's two. It might be two.
I honestly think that people keep forgetting this is Brock's second year.
Right. He's just got in
You
the
know what
league.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
Kid's
This
still
is
a
true.
baby.
This is true. But the point I'm trying to make is that the system that Brock has put in is Kyle Shanahan's system.
That dude is a genius.
which he's an absolute genius.
Yeah.
Offense and defensive genius.
Hell yeah.
He's put into a system with Christian McCaffrey, who's an MVP candidate in himself,
was
who
a
probably
great
should
pickup, man.
who
That was a
probably should
robbery.
win MVP if it wasn't a quarterback award. If it wasn't a quarterback award, him or Tyreek should win MVP.
That's what it's turned into.
Then he's got
quarterback.
he's got Debo Samuel. He's got Brandon Ayuk. He's got George Kittle. He's got weapons in every direction.
Yeah.
So I can understand that a little bit in Brock Purdy's sense, but that's not taking away anything from him because right now Brock Purdy is first in every single category
Absolutely.
in
He's a dog.
quarterback
Yeah, he's a
category.
Dak has
He
two
ranks
playoff
number
wins.
one.
Two.
Two
Two.
playoff
Two.
wins.
Playoff wins.
Yeah,
Oh,
two
career.
playoff wins. Brock Purdy ranks number one in QBR, number one in touchdowns, number one in he ranks number one in everything.
He odds per
ranks number one in
attempt.
everything.
He's got a lot,
He
dude.
ranks number one in everything right now,
Right.
and that's coming from Mr. Irrelevant. That's coming from the last
last
person,
pick.
last pick of the draft.
I get what
crazy.
you're saying, but it's still that system that's in place, bro.
Right.
Because he's not really making those throws down the field.
No, it's yards after catch. It's all yak. It's
Right,
all
right.
yak.
Those
It's all
screens.
yak.
He does.
It's all yak.
Good blocks.
It's all yak.
right,
That's the argument I was making online.
Right.
The argument I was making online against Dak versus Purdy because I debate this shit all day online.
No,
That's what
Dak's
I
definitely
do.
throwing the ball a
That's
lot
all I
further
do is
down the
debate this
middle.
shit online.
Oh, yeah.
I've been blocked on Instagram 4 times in the past
God.
month. 4 times in the past month I've been blocked off
know what you
Instagram.
mean, bro.
and literally blocked off Instagram 4 times in the past month. But because I've been saying that Purdy, all of his yardage is all yak yardage.
Yeah.
He's throwing the ball to McCaffrey, and McCaffrey's running the ball for 72
He-
yards
he's been-
downfield.
Right.
He's been
right.
throwing the ball a lot
Right.
deeper compared to with these little dumps right in the slots.
Oh, no,
You know,
facts.
he's been throwing it a lot further.
He had
20,
recently
30 yards.
recently.
Dimes.
Yes, recently.
Yeah.
Yes, recently. But
He ain't airing it
his,
out
his
like he-
yak
No, I haven't
his
seen
yak,
him air that like 50, 60. I haven't
His
seen that
yak,
yet.
his yak yardage is insane. If you look up the stats, I mean, we could pull it up, but if we look up the stats on his yak yardage, it's retarded.
Yeah, it's
Like,
crazy.
It's crazy.
But also
crazy.
when I say the scheme too, though, like his throws down the field and simple reads.
Yeah.
Set
You know
up.
what I'm saying?
Set up
like,
perfectly. Yeah.
You throwing the kill down the seam because you know they in this coverage. If they do this coverage, you throwing the Debo.
Yeah.
And those are your 2 reads that you're going.
Yeah.
So this dude drops, boom, right there.
Yep.
Simple, you know what I mean?
It is simple. It's simple in that system.
Speaking of Kittle, my honest opinion, I honestly think if they gave Kittle more opportunities, I honestly think he would put better numbers than Kelsey.
I agree.
I agree with that as
But
well.
he has so many weapons around him.
That's the problem.
But he's still number 2.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
He's still number 2. You know what I'm saying? Like,
got-
what is it going to take for him to be one? Get traded or go somewhere else?
Right.
Yeah.
The fact that he's, I'm not even going to disrespect him and say he's a glorified blocker because obviously that dude's an athlete.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He's a great athlete. But the fact that he doesn't get the ball as much as Mark Andrews and Kelsey, and he's still within the top 3,
Right.
Yeah.
shows how much of a weapon he is.
Right.
Yeah, of course. Let me just switch up subjects real quick because before we bring in our first guest, I want some answers. So who do you think is coming out of the NFC? Obviously, everyone's going to say this, but who do you think is coming out of the NFC?
Okay, I'll go first. Honestly, this was my pick last year, 49ers.
Yeah.
I
We know he's going to pick the 49ers.
You know what I'm going with.
ain't going to lie. I'd probably say 49ers.
Yeah, I'm probably going to say 49ers as well, if not my Dallas Cowboys, but the 49ers.
It's just an overall balanced team.
Yeah, they're stacked on both sides.
Offensively,
both sides of the ball.
Yeah.
Their offense and defense.
Right.
You can't deny it. All right, let's switch sides real quick. AFC. Now, who do you think's coming out of the AFC?
Come on. Baltimore.
Over there.
Honestly,
I'd probably say between Baltimore and I wouldn't say the Dolphins. I don't see the Dolphins.
Neither do I.
But I feel like Buffalo might creep in there.
That's my sleeper pick.
I have a
That's
pick.
my sleeper pick.
I have a pick right now that I put in the beginning of the
If
season.
they make it to the playoffs-
Niners and Bills Super Bowl.
If they make it to the
Yeah.
playoffs, listen, their chances of making it to the playoffs are super slim.
Yeah.
They need Miami to lose. They need Miami to. Their best way of making it to the playoffs is by them winning the division. And they already
That's
beat
not hard.
It is hard.
Oh, 'cause the Miami.
Because they beat Miami, and Miami's got a record of 10-4 right now.
Yeah.
So they need to catch up to Miami. They basically need Miami to almost lose out, I believe, and they need to catch up to Miami. And if they catch up to Miami, they have the tiebreaker because they beat Miami previously
Yeah.
this season.
For
So
the
they could
division
win.
game,
So they
yeah.
could win the division.
Yeah. Okay.
So if they do that, that's a scary team to face in the playoffs.
Yeah, they're looking good.
Especially with
They're looking
Josh
good.
Allen. He's a beast.
He's
Starting to figure it
Superman.
out.
He's
Yeah.
young
You know what I'm
Superman,
saying?
bro. All right.
Yeah.
I want real quick, just because you brought up quarterback. There's a game that we're gonna be played throughout this season, and it's called Out of. All right. Out of is a game that I play with my boys, and basically the way it works is whenever we're talking football and we bring up a player, if we say out of, you got to name the college that person played college football out of. So right now, real quick, just an example, Josh Allen out of
Wyoming.
All right, there you go. Put a dollar in the bucket. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
But we'll be doing that all season long, so get used to it. And I want you guys to play at home too.
Yeah.
All right. Now, before we get into it, we're gonna introduce somebody that I'm very close with. I've known the kid since the man since he was a kid. I've known him since he was a very young man. I've known his older brother. I've known his family. He's a really good guy. He started playing soccer at 6 years old. He played for the youth national team from under 14 to under 19. He turned down a full scholarship to Columbia University at 17 and signed pro with AEK Athens in Greece. On AEK Athens, he was with Rivaldo and Bayon Dior, best player in the world. He learned a lot from watching him play and training. He ran a family clothing store business for 10 years before leaving to start Chronis Elite, an elite supplemental training academy whose curriculum includes focus on technical, tactical, physical, and mental components. He now has over 150 players in the academy. The majority of the players start training at 5:30 a.m. Now, let me tell you something about that. While we were playing football and practicing football and hanging out in the park, smoking blunts, doing whatever we were doing in Karosharan Park back in the day, I remember watching this young man training with his father on his front lawn, kicking soccer balls every single damn day. He was dedicated to his sport, and that's why he did the things he did. So I'm going to bring him on now. His name is Andreas Chronis, and we're going to bring him on set, and we're going to ask him a couple questions and interview him. So everybody give a round of applause for Andreas Chronis. All right, welcome back, everybody. So we're here with Andreas Chronis from Chronis Elite, and we're about to talk some soccer today. Some European soccer, right? Andreas Chronis, I want you to introduce yourself.
Sure. My name is Andreas Chronis. 34 years old, a retired professional soccer player, now founder of Chronis Elite.
All right. So, Andreas, why don't you tell us a little bit of your background, like how you started, like what really got you into soccer, like what age did you start playing, that type of thing.
Yeah, I mean, just like any Greek, I grew up in Astoria, right? So
pound that.
So, my mother, she actually passed away young, and my father, just to keep us busy because it was his favorite thing to do while I was in Greece, put us in a youth soccer program, and that was at around 5 or 6 years old, right around the time that my mother passed, and it just took a liking to it right away. It's like they say, the boy's first love is his mom, but for me it was soccer. So wow. That's when I first started kicking the ball. Then we moved to Bayside at some point in the next, 4 to 5 years. And I got hooked up with a team there called Gachi, which is a team based out of, it's in Middle Village.
Okay.
So they're considered, yeah. They're considered to be a top team in New York and the country. It's an MLS Academy Next team. So played for them for a couple of years. That's when I got picked up by the youth national team. Okay. Played for them for a little bit from 14 years old. Then I went to what's now considered to be the Red Bulls, which is the team out of New Jersey, and played for Holy Cross High School.
Yes,
I know
you did.
You mentioned Holy Cross. That was
Holy Cross.
That was a big part of our life.
It was.
That high school, and I know you said Mr. G. Mr. G was a great man. He still is a great man.
Brotherhood.
Yeah, man. Mr. G.
Yep.
Shout out Mr. G.
Yeah, shout out Mr. G.
Yes,
and so I played in high school over there and
let me ask you a quick question. I don't mean to cut you off, but when you played in high school, did you guys win a championship? What did you guys do?
So believe it or not, we didn't win a major championship. We won like a city championship.
Okay.
Look, I hate to say it, but it was like 1 or 2 players, and there's a team of 11. You know what I mean? So it was tough. I was kind of the guy in the back just running like an animal, winning the ball.
Doing the whole thing.
Yeah, to my boy. You remember Alex Schweitzer?
Yeah.
To him.
Was you on that team? It was the 05 championship against Prep. He was on that team?
No, he wasn't. He was younger. He was younger.
He was younger. Okay.
Yeah. That was the team with James DiGiacomo with
Matos.
They played with Matos. They played against Pablo Restrepo and those kids on Prep. Okay. Yeah, those herbs.
The rivalry, that Prep rivalry is real.
Yeah.
Word, bro.
But go ahead, continue. I'm sorry.
So at around my junior year in high school, I got approached by Columbia University. And the coach came a couple of times to watch me in the games, and he said, "I will do anything for you to come to this school." And obviously, I was hyped. I was honestly a good academic the whole way through high school, and I said to myself, "Well, this is as good as it gets, right?" Columbia University. At the time, they're still not allowed to give athletic scholarships.
Really?
Ivy League schools. So,
I didn't know that.
So he called some, benefactors, and they offered me all these grants and stuff, and it turned out to be, it was like almost a full scholarship, but I think I would have had to pay $3,000 or $4,000 out of pocket.
Wow.
It's not bad.
To go to Columbia?
To go to Columbia, yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was a big deal. I know, I was proud. My dad was proud. And so senior year comes along. I go to all these tournaments overseas. And the tournament in Cyprus happens, and we start playing against the academy teams of the professional teams there. So it's like the farm teams, the youth programs of the first division clubs over there.
Gotcha.
So they set us up in a tournament, and I kill it over there. Just it was like I was like playing free. I already committed. I was like I was on the national team. I was just there to perform. And you know that the nerves they kind of settle down when you're calm. And you play well. So. Yeah, after the tournament, a first division team from Cyprus came up to me and they offered me to stay with them at that time, and I was like,
wow.
Damn.
You know, I already committed. I don't know what that means. You know,
Cyprus is
Cyprus at the time was in my head. I was like, oh, I just go there for vacation.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
that's
so
what
I was
I'm
like,
saying. Yeah.
I'm not turning down Columbia University to go to play in Cyprus. You know,
You're watching two Malakas here talk right now. All right.
Yeah.
So I said, you know, obviously I was like, you know, thank you for the opportunity. I called my dad and told him what happened. And my dad ended up calling one of his friends who's a news reporter in Greece. And you know how the media works, right? This guy went on and he was like, "Oh, there's a Greek American kid that's getting offers from this team in Cyprus."
It was probably
crazy. It went nuts. He was getting phone calls from every first division team.
Well, I remember when it broke in Queens, like it broke in Bayside and Flushing. Like that was everywhere. You were everywhere. You were on front cover of newspapers. You were all over the place.
It was a big
really, thing.
Yeah, it was crazy. I honestly thought. I was like, "How is this happening?" You know, so,
yeah, I would have thought the same thing.
You know, the end result was that I got a phone call from the team that I supported growing up, which was AEK Athens, and they offered me to go and try out. And you know, me, I was in high school senior year, and I was like, I asked Mr. G, I was like, "Yo, can I go try out?" And he's like, "Go, are you kidding me?" You know. So I took a couple of weeks off. Took a couple of weeks off school. I actually ended up going there, and I was like, "Yo, I'm gonna go on the first team. Like, this is amazing. You know, it's like going to the first team of the Jets and going to play or the Giants. You know what I mean? And like a young kid. Right. I ended up going there. They put me with like the under 16 or the under 17 team. And I was like, bro, I just came all the way here to play with these kids. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So obviously they wanted to put me through the process. So I ended up training with the youngsters over there. You know, youngsters, they were my age, but you know, they weren't the
younger class. Like
they weren't, you know, as good as me.
As good as you were.
I needed to show them what I could do.
Yeah.
Right. So I trained with them for a couple days. Then they set up a friendly game with the 4th Division club, which was considered professional over there. And I ended up scoring the winning goal. We win 2-1.
Nice. Get out of here.
Yeah, there was like 4,000 people, which was the most I ever played in front of.
Of course.
And they invite me to go now and train with the first team. So I go to the first team. I roll up. Every car you can imagine in the parking lot. Everybody, Louis Vuitton down, Gucci, you wouldn't even believe. You know, I'm like over there. I got like my 555 Soul hoodie on. You remember 555 Soul?
Yeah, I remember that.
You know what's funny? You know what's funny?
What?
I swear to God, I used to go to your store to buy to buy the 555 Soul gear because your store was one of the only stores in the area that sold 555 Soul. Yes. That's so funny. Wow, that brings
Don't
me
make
back.
me bring back the Christian Ortiz too. I had that too. So anyway, I'm rolling up in there. There's like all these superstars, people that like this guy Rivaldo that I was telling you about.
Yeah, Rivaldo.
He won the best player in the world. He played for Barcelona. He won the World Cup. Like this guy was
Barcelona.
This guy was the biggest player in probably one of the biggest players in the history of soccer. So I'm sitting next to him in the changing room, and I'm over here. I'm like, what the hell is going on? Like, I can't believe this. So I end up ripping practice, just destroying everybody. And I'm like, this is amazing. Like, I'm good enough, you know. I finally see. I'm like, this is amazing.
Nice.
So I end up staying another 2 hours after the session to do some technical work with the coach and the assistant coach, and they put me through like all these different exercises to see, you know, my comfort level on the ball and stuff like that. Just various exercises, you know, juggling, dribbling, you know, shooting, crossing. And literally the second practice was over, they were like, the owner of the team wants you to go into the press room. We had a meeting there, and he's like, you know, we want to make you an offer. So I was like, all right, you know, this is crazy. So my dad ends up flying from New York to come to the office.
Immediately, probably.
Yeah, immediately. It was like right away.
Right away.
You know how it works. I was a free agent.
Yeah, you were a free agent. Anybody could sign.
So they wanted. They were like, you're not leaving this office until you sign. Yeah. So you know, my dad came. I think it was like a day or two later, and they asked him. They're like, "What do you guys want?" I'm like, "Oh, what do I want? What do you mean, what do I want?" But that's the way that it is. They're like, they wanted to talk business, you know. And I was like, my dad's handling this whole thing because I'm like, I have no idea about this. Okay.
Yeah.
So my dad goes, you know, pretty naively, he goes, you know, I just don't want him to ask me for money. I want him to be independent, right? Okay. So, and I'll talk straight numbers because I think it's important that people know what's going on.
Please talk. Please talk.
The first contract that I signed was 4.5 years. I was making 18,500 euro a year.
Wow.
Damn.
A year. They paid for my apartment. They paid for my transportation. They paid for my food. They paid for my, electric, all that stuff. And they also, because I was giving up going to college, like they knew, right? They were like, we'll pay for you to go to this American college in Athens. Damn. So they, all that. But that's the reality of the situation. 18,500, and you guys probably thought that I was making millions going over there, right?
That's exactly what we thought.
But they pay for everything.
But look, they paid for everything, and as a 17-year-old kid, that was like I didn't pay tax, right? And there was a lot of perks associated with doing that. But the reality is, you're at $1,500 a month. You know what I mean?
Oh my God.
Yeah,
that's regular. That's
a job.
That's not a lot. Yeah.
You're working. You're basically working a job. Exactly. Working a regular job.
So that's why I said That's why I said my father naively said that, because they were like, "Oh, this guy's green around the ears. We're gonna fucking help this guy, whatever."
Yeah, exactly.
And he's gonna say yes. Anyway, I end up signing that contract for 4.5 years.
Damn, man.
The first game that I played.
And you didn't have like a lawyer with you or
I
nothing?
didn't have a lawyer. I didn't have an agent. Obviously, I went through all these experiences.
Yeah, so you didn't know. You were young.
In my training academy, when I have players that are going to be making a pro really soon, and they will, they're going to come to me for guidance, and I'm going to say,
listen,
what you need.
Boom, boom, boom. Bring me too, and I'll
you'll sit
negotiate
there
for you and everything.
That's what's up.
So that's my way that I'm going to be giving back through my experience. Nice. So the first game that I played, I don't know if you remember this, Mikey, was in Giants Stadium.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Against Benfica, which is a monster team.
Yeah.
And, again, 35,000 people in the stands now.
Yeah.
And this is my first professional game in my hometown.
Yep.
Come on,
it was like scripted.
It don't get better than that.
Yeah. Every family member that came out of the woodwork for that game.
Yep. Damn. They played it on. They had it on the big screen.
Really?
Yeah. Yes,
so
they did.
I don't start, obviously, which I was disappointed about, but I'm 17 years old.
Yeah, you're a young kid.
So, everyone's going nuts. I'm just waiting for my chance. The second half begins, and the coach goes to me, "Go warm up." So obviously that means I'm going in.
You're going in.
So I get up and I'm like flying. I am flying up and down the line, getting ready to get in this game. And he calls me over. So I'm like, all right, this is happening, He puts one of the assistant coaches, like they walk you to the halfway line, and then they call the other player out. They put you in. And I'm telling you, the second I step over that line, my feet and my legs felt like they were 150 pounds each. I'm telling you.
The nerves, bro.
Oh, my God.
Cinder blocks.
It took me 10 minutes to get into that game. Yeah. And obviously I was smart enough to understand what I could do, right? So the ball was coming. I was just playing simple until I got my feet, under me. After the game, everything in the stands, I was in my underwear walking back into the locker room. And, that was my first experience as a professional soccer player, was that.
That's what's up.
Look, fast forward now, because I'm not going to keep you guys here forever, but a lot of things happened while I was there. A lot of things like corruption.
Talk about
match fixing. I mean, one of the first things that happened to me was one of the technical director of the team who's in charge of bringing players and stuff like that, he was known as a guy that was like a pay to play guy. You gotta pay him up, grease him up, and then he's like, oh yeah, I'm all about you. But it all happened so quickly, and
you're so young,
and I'm so young, and so I ended up on loan, which means that the team owned me, but they loaned me out to another team to get experience. That's what they said. That's how they do.
Wow.
So they loaned me out to a 4th division club. Again, not lawyered up. Didn't know I had an option, right? So these are big mistakes here.
Crazy.
Yeah. So, I end up going to this 4th division team. I was playing 2 weeks ago in front of 35,000 people in perfect pitches and all that stuff. And now I'm over there with like 5 hooligans in the stands cursing at you, throwing stuff at you, because they're,
throwing foot-long hot dogs at your head.
Exactly. They're there, that was how quickly that changed for me. So again, you guys had no idea here back in the States.
Yeah, we didn't.
We thought you were just living it up.
Yeah, we thought you were living the dream.
Chilling.
I'm telling you, it was from 1 week to the next. 1 week, 35,000 people on cloud 9, front page of every newspaper in Greece. Like I was at a cafe and I was like looking over and people are reading the newspaper. I'm front page of the newspaper.
Yeah. Wow.
And then fast forward now 2 weeks later, I'm on a no-name team making fucking, sorry about the cursing, guys, 1,500 euro a month. So anyway, that all happened. I actually stayed on that team for 2 years. They kept me on that team. They kept me on that team. After the second year, I said, guys, I'm gonna quit playing. Like I can't do this anymore. Right? I didn't come here to play on this team and give up everything that I gave up, you know?
Yeah.
So
you gave up going to Columbia University. You gave up pretty much everything to go there, and then you were stuck on that team.
Stuck, yeah.
That's crazy.
I didn't know I had a choice. And I mean, we could get into this, but the manager that I signed after the fact was also corrupt. And so after the second year had finished and preseason was starting now for the third year, I said, I'm gonna go home. I'm not gonna stay here. I'm just gonna quit. You know, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, so the agent came to me and he said, if you give them, now I had to pay them. I had to pay Ike, this big club with Rivaldo, paying him $2 million a year. I had to pay them. And how much do you think I had to pay them? 18,500 euro. Which was my salary.
Which was your salary.
They said, pay us 18,500 euro and we'll let you go. Which means they would have let me go as a free agent. And what do? They wait till the last day of the signing period to let me go when every team had already, budgeted out their year, made their signings, whatever.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So I go to this third division club making 770 euro a month.
Oh my God.
Without paying for my apartment. Nothing. Everything was now on me now.
So now everything's on you, and you're only getting paid 770.
Yes. So I'm not paying rent now. I don't have it. My rent was like 900 a month on my apartment. So I don't pay the first month. Now I signed a 1-year deal with them in the hopes that I would show and then sign in January transfer window.
Yeah.
So that was the goal, and I was killing it over there. So a lot of teams came to watch, but yeah, I wasn't paying my rent. 3 months in, this guy comes over and he's like, "Hey, Ike, stop paying the rent. Like, what's going on?" I was like, "I have no idea." I was like, you gotta call them and see what's up. I was like, call them at the office and ask what's up.
Yo.
So just buying some time, and so the first 2-3 months I was there, I was killing it. My agent was bringing first division clubs coming to watch me play, all that stuff. And I could have gone for free to a club in the summer, but I could sign in January. You could sign 6 months in advance. Okay. So he's bringing people. There was a first division team that wanted me. Every time they came to watch me play, I was doing well. And now the January transfer window comes, and I'm like, all right, let's make this happen. Let's sign this contract. She's like, oh, you know what? They don't want you anymore. And I'm like, they came to every game and I ripped it. There's no way they don't want me anymore. He's like, no, they don't want you anymore. And I couldn't go another day without signing another contract because I had no money.
Yeah.
Right? This guy's literally knocking on my door to evict me. So I'm like, I got to get out of here. So he brings me an offer from this other third division team from the city Patra, which is,
Patra.
Patra?
Yeah.
It's like 2 hours north of Athens.
Yeah.
And they're offering me now a 3-year contract, 45, 55, 65. So 45,000, 55,000, 65,000 with a $15,000 signing bonus for the first. So I'm like, all right, well, let's get this rolling now. You know what I mean? I just want to play at this point. I want to play in a team. This was a reputable team. Yeah. Had thousands and thousands of fans there. Yeah. Right. So I go there, press conference, packed. Signing bonus is like supposed to happen before you sign the actual contract. Because if you guys don't know, everything in Greece is under the table stuff. Like it wasn't.
It's Europe.
It's Europe. It wasn't like in the contract. It was like, yo, come 15,000. We'll give it to you cash. Sign the contract in front of the press. Everything's good. Okay. So I'm like, I'm going to the press conference, and my agent was like telling the owner, he's like, you got to get the signing bonus before we sign the contract. He's like, they're waiting for you. So whatever, we go, we sign, then we get out, trying to find the owner. He's gone. So no signing bonus now. Done.
Wow.
Crazy, bro. Come on.
So it turns out, long story short, I did have an offer from a first division club. My agent took money under the table, my $15,000 from the owner under the table, and he didn't tell me about it, but he took it, right? So it was his deal. He stole my $15,000 to sign me for that team.
Damn.
So that was his bonus to bring me there.
Shiesty, a lot of shiesty
Oh
stuff,
my
bro.
God.
That's not cool, man.
So anyway, start playing. I don't get paid right away. He doesn't pay the owner of the team. So I'm like, this is absurd. Like I went from one bad situation to the next.
Right.
So, long story short, I played there for a year, not getting paid. I end up taking him to court. Nobody takes teams to court because then you become blacklisted.
This is something
like, we don't want this guy here.
This is something serious that I know you went through, and I want you to talk about is like how you actually did go to court against your team, right?
Yeah. So I took them to court, and the owner of the team was a lawyer, so obviously he knew the ins and outs. He knew the people that you could use to get around these situations and delay.
And you're not in your country.
I'm not in my country. I'm by myself.
Right.
You know, everyone's here. So I'm by myself.
Yeah.
So, you know, the I would say the worst moment of my life was when the team, well, I took him to court and then I was on the sidelines, blacklisted, you know, not playing. So he was like, while I'm in court, you're not going to play. Right. We're not going to bring you anywhere. You're going to train with the reserve team, all that. So they go on like this trip to play a game, and we used to eat lunches and dinners together. And that was a big thing because none of these kids were getting paid. Right. So we were waiting for the lunches and the dinners that the team was paying for so that we could go and eat. Okay. But because the team was away, there was no lunch or dinner.
Bro.
Oh my God.
I'm not kidding you. I go to it was like a Saturday or Sunday, and the ATMs were working, but the banks are closed. Like the actual banks are closed. And I can't find my ATM card. There was like $50 in the ATM, don't you worry. But I'm like, yo, I need to get food and I don't have money. So I go home and I'm like, I had like a little change jar. And I'm counting the change.
Oh, we all know those change jars, Coinstar, Wall Bounds,
all that.
Oh yeah, just come in clutch.
All that. So I count like €1.50 and I go get a sandwich, right? A gyro, right? Because that's all that you could get for a gyro for $1.50. I go back home and I'm just like, I cannot believe that this is where I ended up. It just hit me, not then, all the time.
Yeah.
So long, you know, my friends come back, the teams come back. We had another one of my friends, his mom worked at a supermarket, and she would send us food weekly with the bus. And we would go to the bus station, and the food was frozen, and we would take it out of the bus and go home and put it in the freezer, and we would take it out and we would cook it up every night, and that's what we ate. Wow. You know, that's what I was going through over there.
That's how serious it was.
Wow.
The finale of this whole dilemma, this whole drama here was, it's summertime. My lawyer was like, you got to stay with the team, otherwise you're not going to be entitled to any money, right? And it was a good chunk of money. So I was like, all right, I'll stay. So I stayed for the summer, stayed training, and I get a family friend calls me to go to a beach bar for a drink. And I go, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, we get attacked by 8 bouncers.
Oh, shoot.
Out of nowhere. 8 bouncers. Attacked. Like, these guys were like MMA type bouncers. Guys.
Hold on, so y'all were just sitting there chilling, drinking.
I wasn't even drinking.
Oh, you just sitting
there? No, I was with my family friend talking at the bar.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, I see my friend get knocked out. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, what is going on? And before I know it, I'm getting pounced on. Left and right. So I'm trying to get out of this situation, backpedaling out of the bar. I fall down on I was getting out onto the sand, and as I'm walking backwards, trying to, maintain everything in front of me, I fall down, and they all pounce. 7 of them. I broke my jaw. They broke my jaw.
They broke your jaw?
They broke my jaw.
I didn't know you had your jaw joking.
3 months, wired shut. My dad had to come from New York, and he was blending food for me, and I was drinking it out of a straw for 3 months.
God.
And I can't train now, so I'm sitting there like a potato.
So you went from basically having everything in the world almost on a silver platter to literally sipping food out of a straw.
Yeah, that was me.
So do you think that was a hit?
What do you mean by that?
Like those dudes attacking you?
Oh, so yeah, 100%.
Right.
So that's what it was. Right. That was a great question.
100%. That was a good point because I was going to bring it up, but we were caught up in the 100%. 100%.
That's crazy.
100%.
That's wild, bro.
So I get the whatever the braces off, and I'm like, you know what? I was like, I can't do this anymore. So I'm like, I'm gonna go to the owner. I'm gonna tell him I'm leaving. And I don't want anything. I don't want nothing. So I go home. I just want to leave.
Yeah,
wasn't worth it.
Yeah,
it wasn't worth it.
I almost died. These guys, I broke I didn't finish my jaw, my nose, my teeth. These are all fake. All these teeth are fake.
Oh, shit.
Damn.
All of them. Like half broken teeth. My ribs were bruised. My nails were falling off of my feet because I had to jump a fence. I somehow managed to get up and jump a fence, butt naked, because they ripped all my clothes off. Ran into a restaurant, bleeding, can't talk because it was horrible. It was horrible. Honestly, it was horrific.
Dude.
So that team was really bad, man. At the time, now it's turned around. That team Panahaiki, Kuya, the owner. Yeah, bad.
Kuya.
That's wild,
Kuya.
bro.
So anyway, I end up coming home. I didn't want to touch a soccer ball. I didn't even want to see a soccer ball. I was like, I can't believe that I love this thing so much. And look at what it did to me, you know? So 2 years I took a break. I started working for the family business, $8 an hour, you know? And just worked my way up in the family business, did that for 10 years. Started playing again, semi-professionally, making more money playing once a week than I did my whole career playing in Greece. So that's what I did for eight or 9 years. On the 10th year of me working for the family business, my father passed away with COVID. It was
sorry to hear.
Yeah, thanks. Thank you. That was tough, but it got me to really sit down and reevaluate. Now that I'm saying that my dad passed away, this guy here, Yanni, I was training him 3 times a week at 5:30 in the morning. And the night my father passes away, we had a training session the next day. And I went to training.
Wow.
I went to training. I was like, you know, like, this is who I am. This is what makes me happy.
Right. And you know what? That's what your father would have done for you.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Go train that kid, man.
That's what he instilled in you.
Yeah,
that's what he instilled in you.
And I thought about that moment, and I said, you know what? This is what I have to do for a living. This is what I have to do. I know too much. I care too much about the game and about the players because I have empathy for them.
Right.
You know, I've been through everything that they're going through.
Right.
As kids, you know, as teenagers, the ups, the downs, you know, every end of the spectrum, from the best all the way to the worst feelings, right? Almost to getting killed. So I said, I'm gonna do this full time. So I gave my notice. I said, I'm leaving. I want nothing. Good, you know, run the business. Good luck. It was my stepmother at the time, you know, running the business.
Yep.
And then I started Chronis Elite, training one kid, this guy over here, at 5:30 in the morning, 3 times a week. And then people started, you know, I started posting some stuff on Instagram, made an Instagram account. And
Facebook and
no, just Instagram.
Oh, just Instagram?
Just Instagram.
Okay.
I was doing so much because I was actually, while I was doing this transition, I was still working at the store.
Okay.
I didn't tell you I was going to school full time because I didn't want people to say, "Oh, look, he gave up Columbia and he didn't go." I went to FIT, got my advertising marketing degree. Went to Baruch College, got my operations management degree.
Good job, bro.
While
Good
working
job.
50 hours a week, going to school at night and taking whole days off from work and playing semi-professionally. You know, no, I had no time, but I needed to build myself up again, and that was the way that I was going to do it.
Because they low key broke you out there, bro.
They killed me, man. My aura was gone. I had nothing else.
Yep.
Damn.
So I started training another kid. 3 became 6, 6 became 12, 12 became 24, and it just kept on growing and growing and growing, and now we're at 150 kids. The majority of them train morning sessions before school. So we train at 5:30 in the morning and 6:30 in the morning, 5 days a week, and on Saturdays we train at 7:30. We give them a little bit of a sleep in.
Okay. That's what's up. That's what's up.
A little bit of a break.
Yeah.
Not 3 days like we used to run.
Yeah.
No.
Goodness.
But we have 3 trainers working with me. We have national team players.
Wow.
We have Division I college players.
That's amazing.
We have players that are 7 years old, waking up and training at 6:30 in the morning. And I did not push this, guys. I didn't advertise at all. This was just me doing my thing.
Yeah.
And people talking about it, and then people
and
reaching
word
out
of
to me.
mouth.
That's
And
it.
word of mouth.
That's it. You know?
Word of mouth.
That's it. Word of mouth. Word of
what's up.
mouth. And now this is where we're at. We're at 150. We're training in Staten Island. We're training in Garden City, Long Island. We're training in Melville, Long Island. We're training out of Astoria.
Please, tell us more where they can find you.
Yeah, I think the best way is, and it will continue to be, through Instagram. I just started
your page.
Yeah, my Instagram page, Chronis Elite. Chronis Elite is the Instagram name. And I just started doing this full time 7 months ago. All this growth happened in 7 months. I didn't even have a website. I threw something on there because it was just getting crazy. I needed to funnel people somewhere. So now, anyway, I hired a website design guy who's doing my website. We have a video guy coming and recording our sessions. I have an admin working on emails and social media blasts and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. So it's getting more organized, and the demand is through the roof. And it's not, sure, I know a lot and I've been through a lot, but I think it's because of the care. I really do care about these kids. It's not just come and pay me and then I'll see you later. I call these kids. see how they're doing. We do game analysis together. We watch their games together, and we review moments in their games, and we talk about tactical positioning, all that stuff.
That's
and
amazing.
all of that care fuels our training sessions.
Right.
You know,
Yeah,
like we
it's
see
amazing.
what they need help with, and then
Work on it.
exactly.
Yeah.
And
But that's what
That's
this
what's up,
younger generation needs.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we don't have a lot of young guys like yourself, played professional, been through the ropes, giving back to the young kids.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like it just it's humbling to see you doing that. It inspires me.
Thank you, man. I appreciate
it. inspires me, bro.
Thank
Like
you.
I want to. I'm kind of like when you talk about your story, I can relate to it.
Of course.
You know what I mean? Like I played college. I was in that dark hole.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, but now it's trying to find like what's your why?
Yeah.
What you want to do this for? You know what I mean?
And
like
that's
I work in the jail. Mm-hmm. The crimes that you hear from these kids, 15-year-old murder charges, never coming home.
Never. Yeah.
120 years. We have a friend, my brother Sean Peace. Free him one day, hopefully. 110 years. So it's just certain things. It's good to see a young man like yourself. That's why we all here. That's why we kind of started this podcast, just to give back to the youth so they can see that it's more than just the streets.
Right? Yes, exactly. That you can attain your dreams. You can do anything that you want to do, you know? So, I mean, yeah, you're an inspiration to a lot of people, Andreas. I hope you know that. I mean, you got somebody sitting over there, right there, you know, that...
Right. Protege right here, bro.
Yeah, you know.
You're right, the protege.
Yeah, your little protege over there, man. And there's a lot, you got, like you said, you got a lot of students, man, that I'm sure look up to you every single day, man. And I know your pops is looking down on you, and he's definitely very, 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 very proud, man. Yeah, 100%.
I got a quick question. I got a quick question. All right, for the kids that's coming up, you know, playing soccer, what's the most important thing you're looking for within a prospect? Like, what should kids like focus on the most to be with your academy?
So I think we really train players at all calibers right now.
Okay.
Because we have a bunch of trainers. But in order, it's funny because when you ask the young players coming up what you want to be when you grow up, they're going to say, I want to be a professional soccer player.
Right,
You know?
right.
And the reality is that probably none of them will make it. But that doesn't mean that you can't become a better everything in the process.
Right.
Exactly.
And so they get what I would say honestly is to cancel out all the external noise from social media, from your friends. Oh, look at what they're doing. Oh, look at where he's at. Look at who's training with. Look at what team he plays on. You know, look at what he's wearing. And what social media has done. I know we talk about this all the time, right? How social media influences, right? But it's true.
Right.
It's true.
No,
You know, because if you put down that phone and you go out there and you train and you work
And you
towards
work your
something,
ass off.
then you might achieve something great. And that's the reality. So really, work ethic is number one when they're young. Focus, right? And then as they get older, I think it becomes more mental. It becomes more, are you able to handle the pressure?
Right.
Are you able to handle you going to a game professionally at the higher levels, at the lower levels, and somebody cursing you, your mother, your unborn children, throwing stuff at you, which I've done, I've experienced. Like in after a game, people throwing rocks onto the field, trying to kill you because you won a game. Like how do you take a kid from anywhere, right? From anywhere, to that. And expect them, you know, but so you got to be tough. You got to be tough. You got to be disciplined. Yeah, that's it. You got to be tough. You got to be disciplined. Of course, you have to have talent. Of course. But the talent, you know, is not as important as the whole process along the way. It's not. So that's what we need. Sorry.
Oh, my shit.
I'm good, man.
My bad, bro. I thought someone you touching my mic. My bad, bro.
The first time I had a mic in front of me, all right?
My bad, bro.
Oh man.
But again, I think and also do it for the right reasons. Do it because you want to do it. Because you could be forced. I see kids. You think some kids, all of them want to be there at 5:30 and 6:30 in the morning? Who do you think wants them to be there?
Their
parents, right? Because they have these dreams and these goals and they want and
being
you know
the next Messi.
Susan's kid did it, right? So I want you to do it too, and that's not the truth because you know what? This kid, if you're forcing him, he's missing out on something else that he loves.
Right.
You know, and that causes such resentment later.
Right.
And I've seen it all the way through.
Yep.
I'm sure you guys.
Oh yeah, I've seen it, bro.
right?
I've seen it.
Definitely.
Okay, so you know, do
I
it for
mean,
the right reasons.
We'll get into TC and Lil TC's story in another episode.
Right.
You know, they got their own story of how they they came up playing sports together and with their pops and everything. So we'll get into that. But I mean, Lil TC, you got a question you want to ask Andreas?
How much discipline did it take to stay over there and just not give up so easily?
While I was going through everything?
Yeah.
You know, I think part of it, honestly, was that I didn't want to kind of like feel like I made the wrong choice.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Like I wanted to prove myself like, no, I made the right choice. I bet on me. And then honestly the hardest part was not getting there, it was staying there.
Right.
Yeah.
Staying at that level.
Right.
And then when I came back and I started thinking about it, I was like, you know what? I never cared about what anyone thought. And I came out of that just through self-talk, you know what I mean?
Right.
And I came out of that and I was like a phoenix from the ashes. I wanted to reinvent myself. I wanted to go to school. I wanted to run a successful business. I wanted to, with the clothing store, then I wanted to start my own business. I wanted to give back to the kids. And I think the passion and the purpose is just projected onto these kids, and they feel it, and the parents feel it, and that's why this has grown so much.
That's amazing.
That's what's up, bro.
That's amazing. Good, Nikki, you got a question for Andreas?
So I've been following soccer because my father is actually an immigrant from Italy. So since I was a kid, I always watched Serie A mostly, and I know how ruthless the fans are. Because my father obviously told me lots and lots of stories about the fans.
Hold on 1 second. I don't know if there's feedback coming from that. Check your receiver. It may be off.
Lights on. Good.
No, it's not coming up. Give me 1 second. Turn it on and off. I don't have anything on your side. I got a dead mic over there.
Lights on.
No, just turn it off. Just hold down the button, power it down, and bring it back up.
All right, so real quick, after he asks a question, I'm not sure if I'm gonna ask a question or if I'm just gonna go straight to outro. I might ask you because one of the questions I asked you, you pretty much answered pretty much everything I wanted to ask.
Word.
So like, I don't know. We good? We good. All right. So Nikki, do you have any questions you want to ask Andreas?
Besides all the bad memories and all the bad situations, obviously you still are in the field of soccer. You honestly miss playing pro?
Every day. Every day.
Yeah.
Every day.
Every
I
day.
figured that.
Every damn day.
Nikki, when I go on the field though and I play like I'm playing
Pro.
with 50, 60,000
Right.
people in the stands.
Right.
Wow.
And I think that, you were talking about it. It's that.
Facts.
It's that. When you go, these kids care about who they're playing with. I'm like, I didn't care who I was playing with,
Yeah.
right? Put me against somebody that can't play. Put me against somebody that's a pro.
Right.
Like, I just want to play for the reason of me showing to myself
Right.
that I'm the man.
you're the
man.
I'm the man, bro.
That's
that
You know what I
pride,
mean?
bro.
That's the New York.
And-
But that's the New
That's
York.
the New
City
York.
shit.
That's the New York.
Facts.
That's the New
That's
York.
the New York shit. That's the Queen shit.
But Nikki, I miss it. I miss it every day. It's a high. It's a
Yeah.
high. It is.
It's also your passion, I'm guessing, too,
Yeah.
right?
Word.
Yeah. I guess it's the love for the game.
Yep.
Love for the game,
Good for you,
for the
man.
love of the game, man.
Good for you.
Yeah, bro.
I enjoyed your story.
Thank you.
Yeah, man.
Thank
We
you.
all enjoyed your
It's a lot we
story.
ain't know, bro. Over
Yeah,
the years.
yeah. We
Yeah.
did not know.
crazy.
I don't know if we were ready for all
That
that.
sounds like
man.
some movie shit.
Word, bro.
Yeah, can we get him to sign a script real quick? Do we need your agent?
Get me a gyro. I'll sign it.
Some souvlaki on the side.
Oh man, dude. Well, listen. Thank you so much for coming in today and sharing your story. Like, I really sincerely appreciate it. I know all of us here do.
Definitely.
Yep.
We all loved it, and it was an honor and a pleasure having you here and listening to what you had to say. That's really all the time we have for today's episode, guys. But I want to thank you again. Thank you to everybody that tuned in and watched. I want to thank, first of all, the crew here, the Real Kings of Queens. Thank you guys. You know, my family represent. The Real Kings of Queens. I want to thank everybody.
Oh yeah.
Chronis Elite.
Thank you.
I want to hook you up with a shirt, the Real Kings of Queens shirt.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm gonna wear that to training
You
tomorrow.
wear that to training tomorrow.
There you go.
Thank you.
You know, represent. And I want to throw a big shout out to my man KM. He was a big inspiration to me to starting this podcast. You know, definitely got to give a big shout out to him. And a big shout out to my family, you know, all of our families, because without them, you know, we wouldn't be here.
Right.
You know,
Facts.
they're supporting us all right now in doing this endeavor, you know. So big shout out to them. If it wasn't for them, you know, it would just be me and the mic. Mike and the mic. That's all it would be. So
I like that.
but don't forget to hit subscribe, like, share, follow. Follow us on Instagram at Real King of Queens _ Real _ King _ Queens, and then at Real at the _ Real _ Kings _ Queens.
That's a lot of shit, boy.
I know it's a lot, but we got to get it out there. I also want to give a shout out to the designer of that T-shirt, Marquito. You can follow him on Instagram at Q718NY. At Q718NY. Hold up that shirt one more time.
Yeah.
At Q718NY. Follow him on Instagram. You know, he's our just personal designer. Definitely give him a shout out and follow him. But other than that, I mean, don't forget to again hit like, subscribe, share, check out our next week's episode. And other than that, we out. Thank you for everybody for listening and watching, and we'll see you next week.
Yes, sir.
Peace.